an extra significance to every opportunity to represent your country?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think probably all the guys here, you never take it for granted, whether it's your first game or your last. You never know. So it's nice for me to be able to get that out there and sort of say what my intentions are. But a big part of that decision was wanting to still be a big part of this England team, because it's a really exciting time to be a part of it. Other than me, it's a young squad, and a lot of the guys are exciting players who are starting to get some form together in club rugby. So we're really excited to start the tournament.
Your first game is at home to Wales. Is it fair to say that you can never underestimate any opposition for the Six Nations?
Absolutely, and I think probably history has shown that. Especially over the last couple of years, the games have been really, really tight, and obviously Wales coming in with a new coach. I think that's a fresh situation, and it's going to be a real challenge for us in England-Wales. And Allianz is always a big game.
This year is something of a landmark year for rugby. As an international rugby player, it must be very exciting to see calendar fixtures against the very best teams in the world, players in the world.
Yeah, it is, and I think that change up of the schedule is probably something that the game's been calling out for a while, and it's just an opportunity for the best to play the best, and you want to measure yourselves against the best players and the best teams in the world, and the global calendar now looks like that, but that's probably why the Six Nations has been as big a tournament as it has for such a long period of time, because it's the best against the best.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Talking about the best players of the world, I firstly turn to you, Antoine. You're back from an injury a few days ago. Everyone is very, very excited to see you back with the France jersey. You had some incredible moments at Stade de France. I was very lucky. How much are you looking forward to this edition?
Yeah, obviously I'm very excited to play this first game at home. It's a bit special for me. I didn't wear the French jersey for almost 1 year. So very excited. As we said, it's a magical tournament, and there is still the same feeling each time we play this kind of games.
There are new faces and changes within the squad. Also, given your captaincy and role of number 9, does that bring extra responsibilities towards the players on the pitch and outside the pitch?
Yes, but I think as a scrum half, I already have had this kind of role in the team. I had to be a leader, and I think I'm well surrounded in the team by other experienced players who helped me a lot. So it's just an honor.
We were used to see a telepathic relation you had with Gregory Aldred. How are you going to prepare the matches? You had a telepathic relationship with Gregory Aldred. Are you going to prepare the matches differently?
Well, I think I have a lot of. I'm very close to other players on the field, and we know each other very well for 5, 6, or 7 years. So I think we'll have to try this connection for the first game, because it will come very soon. Very soon.
Thank you very much, Antoine. All the best for this edition. The first team to face Antoine and his teammates will be Ireland, of course. Kaylin, it's never an easy trip to go to Paris, also for a first game. I mean, Ireland versus France fixture for the Six Nations is clearly a national occasion for both teams. How important is it to set the tone for this championship, for this first game?
Yeah, it's big. Momentum's big in this competition. The way you start sets you up well or not so well, depending how it goes. So it's going to be a big focus on a proper performance to start us off. We're off to Portugal later on today, a nice training camp there, and then transfer across to Paris early next week. So it's a short turnaround, not a whole lot of time, but a sharp mind definitely, and it's one to get excited about.
Out of interest, how much attention is given to Antoine's training sessions, analysis? Is there a special focus given to players that have to be contained?
Yeah, I mean, with any team, there's a certain amount of individuals that you can hone in on, and you're aware of their strengths and weaknesses and what makes them tick. Obviously, when it comes to France, you look at guys like him and kind of look for tendencies and ways you can try and negate their threats as best possible, which can be challenging. But it's always getting the balance right between focus on yourselves and awareness of what the opposition will bring.
similar to France, new faces, changes within the team. For Fan, it adds actually even more interest. How is it for you to represent your country in this championship?
It's always a privilege. As Jamie was saying, you can never take it for granted, especially being in the roles that we're in as leaders. It's such a special tournament. It's towards the pinnacle of the game, and yeah, it's always an exciting time of year.
Thank you very much, Kaelin. When we talk about passion, we think, of course, of the Italian anthem once we hear it in the stadium. So I'm turning to you, Michele. This time last year, you were in Rome to host, of course, at the beginning of this championship. Rugby in Italy is becoming stronger and stronger. I mean, everybody's waiting for that. How has the Six Nations contributed to the sports growth in general?
Well, a lot. I think it's for sure the main event that has been followed for the last 20-25 years in rugby, I mean. And so that's obviously something that has put players in front of a lot of kids. Myself as well, I grew up with a couple of idols there. So now it contributed a lot, and now we can feel that sort of responsibility we got towards the kids as well. And that was one of our biggest aims, especially to you mentioned in the stadium in Rome, to have a couple of sold outs. It's pretty much amazing, having a lot of crowd coming in there and cheering for us.
You host Scotland for your first game, and the tickets are, I think, almost sold out. How are you preparing for this first game? And does that add maybe extra pressure?
Well, yeah, obviously. Whenever you face a bigger challenge, the pressure will always increase in that sense. Obviously, we know Scotland, it's an unbelievable team. They brought some real consistency week in and week out throughout the last couple of years, especially. They grew up to the point where they will bring the game they want to do. So we know from our side we can put them under pressure in some areas, and those we have to explore at their very best. At the same time, we have to, as Kaelin was saying, focus on yourself and trying to be the best part and the best thing you can actually be in that day. Having a little bit of consciousness of what the other team is and what the team will be.
Six Nations is clearly a guarantee of competitive matches. This can only fuel the rise of Italian rugby. Right?
Yeah, 100%. I think that has been a little bit like what we've missed a couple of times in the last couple of years. Obviously, consistency of performances is something we were really looking forward to. And we've seen when we are at our best, we can actually compete against anyone. But at the same time, to be able to be at our best every single time, you have to go a step further in that way. That's one of our main objectives, especially for this Six Nation campaign, but even our bigger picture for our team. Generally, obviously, very young team, so a lot to grow and to improve on. But at the same time, we want to get to that consistency part where we can really step onto the pitch and know that we're going to face a big challenge with our strength every single time.
Thank you very much, Michele. Have a great championship. Italy celebrated 25 years within the Six Nations, but one of its founders was Wales, and Wales actually opened their campaign behind enemy lines. So Dewey, new coaching setup, new faces in the Wales squad, a new tournament to tackle. What's the mindset and objective for the first match?
I think everybody on this stage so far has alluded to winning. That's ultimately what we want the pitch to do. I think new coaching staff and new squad coming together has been a nice fresh start for us. Steve's put a lot of values in that he's kind of instilled into the group already. I think that first game up against England is going to be massive for us to go and test ourselves against the best. And like Kaelin said, the momentum in this tournament is huge. So anything we can get from there, then you just carry on into the next.
That game to come against England, does that fire the team up?
Yeah, massively. I think that game's not necessarily when you need to talk too much around. I think the talking's done for you from a playing point of view. The build-up in the week is the hostility you face when you turn up to the ground kind of gets you in the mood to go anyway. So I think, yeah, the mindset stuff doesn't really need to be touched on because it's kind of done for you in that week.
Thank you. There's a lot of news surrounding the Wales squad at the moment, but is it a case of the rugby taking focus now?
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot going on in Welsh rugby at the minute, but I think that's something that can really take your mind off things if you can just focus on the job at hand and focus on the rugby. And I think for us to put our best foot forward and to play our best rugby, that's what we have to do in this campaign. And I think it'll be, as we said, a breath of fresh air with new coaching staff, new ideas coming in, and hopefully we can hit the ground running.
Thank you very much. For the weeks to come. Finally, to our host, Scotland, and a captain who added a lion's store to his team last summer. Scotland were there at the very start of international rugby. We all know that. Does that history fuel the passion when players put the jersey on?
Yeah, definitely. I think the history of all these jerseys, but I think most importantly, the history of this competition as well. Like I said before, it's the pinnacle of Test rugby outside of the World Cup, and it's a competition that carries so many rivalries, and I suppose that's what makes it so exciting.
You have England and Scotland at home. Murrayfield is one of the sport's greatest stadiums, and these are two of the biggest rivals. Is it too early to think about those fixtures?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Our first game against Italy, which has been a problematic game for us, to be fair, over the last couple of years, especially over there in Rome. And I think the progression that Italian team has made, I don't think we can think about England yet at all. I think especially with the new format, with the 3 games on the bounce, I think the more we can take it one game at a time and earn another week together and get the ball rolling on the same momentum, such an important part of this competition. And I think it'd be foolish for me to start thinking about England before we take on Rome and Italy.
And that's going to really resonate with my last question. You're likely to get this question quite a lot. Is this year Scotland's year, and will the trophy be coming back to Edinburgh?
Geez, I think I wouldn't be a captain if I stood up here and said no, and I think that's all of our objective as captains is to touch that trophy. And for me as a Scottish player and a Scotland captain, it's something that we haven't achieved yet, but that is the goal heading into every tournament, is to touch the trophy, and I'd like to think that is our ambition. But like I said before, our main focus is heading to Rome and getting the ball rolling in this competition.
Thank you very much. This is an end to our Q&A. Thank you very much. I think we can all applaud.